Hello gorgeous people, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're jumping back into the creepy universe of Dr. Nowhere. We actually only have two videos to go over today. One that I missed out on that came out a while ago called The Boy in the Bath, and another one called The Oddity Compendium. And in that one, we'll be learning about a ton of crazy creatures and concepts that are just extremely creepy. Now, if you guys haven't seen my last video on Dr. Nowhere stuff, be sure to check it out first before watching this one. The link will be at the top of the description down below. That video was insane because we learned about a creature from the TOE series, the boiled one, and so much more. And that's why I'm excited today to show you guys even more incredible creatures that Dr. Nowhere has created. Now, of course, huge shout out to Dr. Nowhere's channel that will be at the top of the description down below. Please be sure to go and support your analog horror content creators. And last thing before we start this video, don't forget to go check out our sponsor Gamersupps, whose link will be in the description down below. Use code Immortal at checkout and you'll get 10% off your entire order. And alright, enough of me yapping, let's jump into the horror. Video 6. The Boy in the Bath. Your body remains unclean from the toils of yesterday. You're in no condition to sleep like this. A shower will make you better. I can relate. Showers do make me feel a lot better sometimes. I like the POV. Oh. Alright, house looking a little disheveled, but it wasn't my fault. What wasn't? Hey there.
Why did you leave me here? I never existed to you.
Yeah, good. Honestly, good move closing the door. Okay, sounds like we got back in bed. Oh.
I know you heard me. It was all your fault.
This is the thing with this type of horror sometimes. Sometimes I'm not sure if I should be hyper analyzing it or if this is really just that open. You know what I mean? Like open to your thoughts to just interpret whatever this is. It does say in the description that this is a short film about guilt. Okay, so I feel like there's many ways you can honestly perceive this or like form it into another situation, but I think the main situation here is that the person's POV that we have is a parent and the tall white creature is a child that has passed away. And the easy way to explain this is that you need to take a shower because you feel unclean after what happened yesterday. You try to say that it's not your fault, but then when they run into this child, the dead child, it says, "Why did you leave me here? You acted like I never existed." And then after, when the person tries to run away back into their bedroom, it says, "I know you heard me." And at first when it said, "I know you heard me," I thought it was saying that because, you know, like they walked into the bathroom, heard what it said, and then ran away trying to act like they didn't hear it. But no, I think it actually means like this person was neglecting their child. They left them to take this bath on their own. Maybe they were like a very, very young child, like maybe, I don't know, 2, 3, who knows? And they left them and they heard them drowning, but they acted like they didn't exist. They just let it happen, which is honestly incredibly dark, but it's impressive how this extremely short story is told in under 2 minutes. And it just shows that this parent is now being haunted by this, their now deformed child. It's deformed into this terrifying creature. Also, something that I did read in the comments, a few people pointed out that the hand actually twitches at one point, and that could almost be a sign that, you know, this ghost child wanted to act in violence, but then decided not to. Instead decides to just lecture this person and make them feel more guilty. Just to back up the evidence that this is a child, it sits in the crib like this, which again implies how young this child was, and it's sitting there saying, "I know you heard me," which honestly, if it were to just come in this room, it could have just stood here, could have stood in front of the bed, but no, it sits in the crib. When I first saw that a 2-minute video was being posted, I didn't think that it would have that much depth to it, and it really does. Again, amazing work for Dr. Nowhere. Seriously, amazing stuff. But let me know what you guys think. If there's another way that you think you can perceive this, let me know in the comments down below, because I'd love to hear it. Always open to your guys' theories and thoughts. But alright, this next video, I'm really excited about. Video 7. The Oddity Compendium. Inst 1. Hey, it was good.
Dr. Nowhere's Office of Wonders presents the Oddity Compendium, a beginner's anomaly education program. Welcome to the Oddity Compendium.
Alright, I'm pausing right there. I'm just saying, I called this in the Boiled One phenomenon. When the Boiled One was like numbered as like a phenomenon incident, I said, I wonder if the creatures of Dr. Nowhere are all a part of a connected universe, similar to like SCPs in a way, where the SCP world, there's just a bunch of these creatures roaming around and then there's like a company trying to, you know, capture them and contain them. I felt like it could be the same thing that Dr. Nowhere was creating, because he creates a bunch of incredible creatures, and it would just be really cool if they were all in the same universe. And just seeing that we're about to learn about a ton of different ones makes me think that that theory is correct, but we'll see. I just wanted to point that out.
Today, we will be learning about many wonderful and strange oddities that exist inside of, outside of, and around your universe.
Okay.
These strange phenomena can range anywhere from life forms, products, and organizations to even events in anomalous time periods. Important. The following information has been acquired from realities that may be separate from the one you are currently residing in. Please be aware that knowledge or comprehension of incompatible information may result in a conscious reality fracture.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what was the definition of that? So some of these things that we were going to learn about might not be even from our own reality. A conscious reality fracture is an event that may occur when an individual perceives material that originates from incompatible realities. Symptoms include migraines, excessive bouts of deja vu, instant death, and more. All right, so warning. If you're watching and you experience these symptoms, I'm sorry to say you're cooked. Psych, that's what you thought. But let me hit you with the Bulbasaur blessing real quick. Bulbasaur. Okay, so basically what that means now is that if you are watching this Immortal Marcus video, this won't happen to you. You won't experience these symptoms. You're gonna be okay, all right? So you're good. Don't have to worry about that. Installment number 1, Falk's Beds, a land of forgotten faces and a geometric knowledge beyond belief. What will we learn today? 1, your own bed may be harboring a hunger for your flesh. Slow down. You need to give me time to comprehend a sentence like that. Sleep with a cold fan on if possible. 2, if you ever walk downstairs one morning and your family is gone, interacting with the headless corpses that remain in their steads should be avoided. Non-existence is a contagious disease. 3, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you get a rush of brilliant ideas, turn back immediately. Enlightenment is a drug and the withdrawals can kill. What? I've been yapping a lot and I'm sorry about that, but I love that these are just such insane concepts. Like, how do you even think of that? Oddity 1, flesh beds. Oddity 1, flesh beds. Populus Coolcita. Category parasite.
Flesh beds or mattress folk are a species of parasitic subhuman that highly resemble bedding mattresses. The body of a dormant flesh bed appears identical to a standard mattress. However, slicing the thin sheet-like skin reveals many soft organs, limb-like appendages, and a humanoid head which hides beneath the skin. They were first discovered in the late 1960s when a mattress company was surveying excess storage. Upon finding many seemingly pristine mattresses that had not been sold, they gave them away to thrift shops and people in need. The people who received the mattress folk initially had no issues with faux beds. It wasn't until the air began to warm up that these beds awoke from their uneventful hibernations. The first reported victim was 19-year-old Alice Digere.
Damn.
She had
I'd
been
be
sleeping
laughing.
on a flesh bed for roughly 6 months before her sudden disappearance. After noticing the stench of sulfur and rot originating from her bed, her family called authorities, and the inside of the mattress revealed a feasting parasite, several hundred human bones, and a half-digested Alice. The method in which mattress folks sustain themselves is by waiting for the body heat of a host to wake them from their dormant state. Kind of like an egg, but not nearly as tasty. After they awake, they slowly unfold themselves from their soft mattress-like bodies. This process is very gradual and happens underneath its body or on its side so as not to be detected. After roughly a month of this process and on a night 17 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, its head and arms fully emerge and pull the sleeping host into its body, where prey is slowly digested. Not much is known about how these sleeping beauties came about, but it is theorized that since they are subhuman, they were once a branch of Homo sapiens that merged with a mycelial network many years ago.
What?
Autopsies of fleshheads' digestive systems have revealed DNA samples from thousands of different people in each instance, some even tracing to people born during the 1600s.
What
Another
the
odd thing to
hell?
note is that the mattress folk themselves contain DNA belonging to humans as well. One instance shared DNA in a blood type with Napoleon Bonaparte, leader of the French Republic during the time that the mattress folk were assumed to have come into existence. All in all, it might be a good idea to throw out that mattress that feels just a bit too warm lately. You might be sharing it with something unwanted. Good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bed bite.
That was kind of funny. So we learned about the first creature so far, and it actually totally makes sense how this thing works. It's basically a living mattress that comes to life from heat, which makes sense because usually humans at night would probably warm up or get really hot under their blanket, and that heat eventually goes to the mattress and then wakes up the creature so that it could eat you. And that's why they say to use a cold fan, because the fan will cool you down and therefore not wake up your mattress. But at the end of the day, if you think that you might own one of these mattresses, maybe throw it out. But it's interesting that in the 1960s, they were just discovered at some like mattress company storage, and they had no idea that these mattresses were like alive, and they just sold them to people because they had excess. Oh no, actually, now that I'm looking at this, they gave some to just people in need. That's crazy. Imagine like you're desperately in need of a mattress and someone gives it to you for free and then it eats you. That's how you go. That's horrible. It's also insane that like what happened to Alice, it could just eat you and then pull your body into it. So then you just go missing. Nobody has any idea that you're literally still in your bedroom inside of your bed. Something weird about just this video alone is that people keep laughing. Like, who is this video actually made for? And who is, like, I know Dr. Nowhere is making it, but is this meant for the average human? Because I don't really think some of these things are funny that we're laughing about here. And also interesting is that the beds seem to have some DNA traces of people born during the 1600s, which could make sense in a way, because you think about it like this, right? If the mattress were to eat somebody and then the people were to go missing, nobody would really know that the bed ate them until they started smelling the rotting. So maybe, you know, after a person goes missing, their bed is given away to someone else, and then the process just continues, and these beds were basically just passed on and on and on throughout the years. I mean, that might be a stretch. Let me know what you guys think, but I feel like that could make sense as to why the DNA continued to go that far from the 1600s to now. The confusing part is why Bonaparte's DNA is in there. Okay, so I'm looking at Napoleon's death, and apparently there's a few different theories to how it happened. Some people say it's like a stomach ulcer, stomach cancer, but then some people say it's some poisoning. So it seems there's like a tiny bit of mystery around his death. Like, they're not 100% sure. I mean, this is a PBS News article, so like take that with a grain of salt. But I don't know, maybe he was actually killed by his mattress. It seems like he did die in bed. Oddity 2, headless macro... What? Oddity 2, headless macrocosm.
The headless macrocosm is a sub-reality nearly identical to Earth save for the fact instead of humans, pale headless corpses remain in their stead. These corpses, though technically dead, do weakly breathe through the holes in their necks. Their hearts have also been observed to begin convulsing at seemingly random intervals. These beings are identical in appearance to one another aside from physical dimensions, which can vary severely between each corpse. The
Okay.
headless sub-people dwelling in this pocket reality have been observed changing their behavior when humans have physically interacted with them, and apparently gain a level of awareness and vitality when such events occur. There are approximately 2,393 living humans residing in this reality, all from parallel Earth. Every single resident recounts waking up in the headless macrocosm after falling asleep under strange circumstances back in their own realities. No one back in their own parallel homes remembers their faces or identities, which leads to the belief that this place could be a form of anti-reality. A waste compartment of the universe used for aspects of reality that are useless or harmful to existential fabric. The humans that live in the headless macrocosm are assumed to be taking shelter in abandoned structures and banding together to search for plant-based food during the warmer times. Fun fact. Humans have coined multiple terms and nicknames for these headless corpses, such as stumpies, cranes, and ichabodies.
Stumpies is crazy.
Reality being detached from main reality, an incident took place which created a temporary tier between the two. A man residing in the headless macrocosm was walking through a field with a small house in the center. Upon reaching the house, the man unintentionally brushed up against one of the breathing bodies. This body, just before motionless aside from the labored convulsions, sprang to life and removed the head of the man. It then proceeded to attach the severed head to the stump of its own neck. The man's name was Michael Tedford. After the corpse had placed
We're gonna have to go back for that.
where its own should be, an event occurred back on Earth in the year 2061 that resulted in governmental intervention. A family's call to the authorities described an impossibly tall naked figure appearing in their backyard. The presence of this oddity was highly distressing to the family, and they remained inside their home until the situation was resolved. The following photograph depicts this figure they spoke of. Michael Tedford's rotting head is affixed atop its frail neck. Shortly after the photo was taken, what was left of Tedford's existence was removed from the premises and taken to an upscale anomaly testing site. Apparently, this corpse was attempting to quite literally become Tedford by leeching off of his existence. These breathing bodies appear to be in a constant state of yearning to reconnect with the roots of reality again, as they have been taken a hold of by a dangerous and contagious disease. This disease appears to be non-existence itself. It can affect anyone on Earth at any time, and once it takes hold, the headless macrocosm deems you valid for residence within its endless meadows, filled with fellow patients. But don't worry, it's a rare diagnosis. Another fun fact. Occasionally, crude man-made structures will form seemingly out of nowhere in order to correspond with the structures on parallel Earth. As mentioned earlier, the headless macrocosm itself functions like a digestive tract of the universe, and these structures may be antibodies attempting to fight off the virus of non-existence. Now then, check your head. Screwed on tight. Great, because you might want to hang on tight to it for this next one.
That was a lot to digest. Let me try my best to understand this. Okay, so I think I understand. So the headless macrocosm is basically this disease that anyone can get. Basically, the universe decides that you are useless and have no purpose, or you're a problem for the universe, so they take you and throw you into this anti-reality, and now you're gone. So in the current reality, you just never existed anymore. Your family doesn't remember who you are, no one remembers who you are, your entire existence is just gone. Now, if you're stuck in this anti-reality, this other world, which now has these headless creatures too, you basically have to just fend for survival and try your best not to die. But if you do run into one of these headless creatures, they will just rip your head off instantly. And I think the reason for that is because these headless creatures are humans. Now follow me here. In this sub-reality, this guy Michael is walking around and accidentally bumps into one of these headless things, and the first thing it does is it takes its head and rips it off of his body, and then the headless creature takes his head and puts it on its own body. Now what I think happens to Michael here after that is that Michael becomes one of these like tall creatures without a head. That would make sense to me. Now another thing about these creatures is that if they do get someone's head, it's basically their way of fighting the anti-reality disease. Like they're fighting against non-existence by becoming someone again. And that's why there was an incident in 2061 apparently where it appears in our own reality. Another cool detail on its own is that Michael Tedford's name keeps glitching out in this video, and it's because he's literally not supposed to exist. Michael Tedford was sent into the sub-reality, which means he shouldn't exist in normal reality, so that's why his name keeps glitching out, because it shouldn't be here. No one should know that this guy exists, which honestly implies that our guy Dr. Nowhere here is clearly a higher being above realities and everything like that for him to know Michael's name and be able to put it in this. At least that's my thought process. But I hope that made sense. I know that's a little complicated, but that's the best way that I can explain it to you. Basically, as a human, if you're worried about getting this whole disease thing, you have nothing to worry about. Just be useful for the universe and you'll be fine. Be useful, but don't be toxic for the universe, because they don't like that either. Oddity 3, Obelisks of Enlightenment.
The Obelisks of Enlightenment are a collective of monolithic beings that are currently residing in different remote locations across the world. Also known as the Fathers of True North, they appear in groups of 1 to 8 and stand anywhere from 10 to 150 feet tall.
That's
Each
tall.
obelisk is levitated just barely above the ground and facing geodetic north. Though most of them reside in remote fields and deserts, they have also been found floating above the ocean within the vicinity of the Bermuda Triangle and even on the Moon. They are moving just ever so slightly and progress approximately 2 inches forward a year. These obelisks are enlightened in the infinitely vast secrets of the universe, and are constantly vocalizing the excess information as a means of waste to counteract the overwhelming intake of knowledge. Though currently enclosed and monitored by government entities, many people have wandered into these locations prior claiming to be following the sound of angelic singing. This alluring hum emanating from these obelisks induces a massive increase in general intelligence in subjects listening. Folklore often refers to the frequency as the song of the divine contour. Each obelisk's biological elements are unraveled thousands of feet into the sky to make a metaphysical connection from Earth to the universe. It is assumed this is a form of knowledge worship, an attempt to make a mortal sacrifice for an immortal honor. Fun fact: these organs are confirmed to be those of the humans and other biological matter that were absorbed after enlightenment. Upon perceiving the words spoken by the obelisks or entering into close proximity with them, the human brain either spontaneously expands and combusts or receives an ability to comprehend the sacred information. Talk about being open-minded. Whenever a subject is able to comprehend this knowledge, they are biologically absorbed into the obelisk, becoming wholly unified with the being. It is not entirely understood how these anomalies were brought into existence, but they seem to be tears in the fabric of reality akin to black holes. Many speculate that these rifts were opened by ancient giants who were dissatisfied with a lack of Earth's knowledge. Many unnaturally large humanoid skeletons have been found underground adjacent to obelisk sites, further supporting this idea. When the obelisks made their debut on Earth, they aided in the construction of the pyramids of Giza by bestowing digestible levels of sacred knowledge onto Egyptian pharaoh Khufu after he was lured into the desert by their beckoning chords. This knowledge would help Khufu rationalize a possible blueprint and method for building these grand tombs, and they were made into the shapes of pyramids as a tribute to the divine structures. All in all, these obelisks may seem malevolent, but it's important to remember that no physical pain could ever outweigh the agony of infinite knowledge.
Oh no, don't blink at me. I did not look like that. Damn, my brain's getting messed up now. I can't even hear them yet. All right, so let me go back. That was so much. Okay, so in short, and hopefully an easier way to understand these things, these obelisks can spawn pretty much in several places around Earth and even on the moon. What they do is they constantly spit out endless amounts of knowledge because these obelisks have almost all of the knowledge in the universe inside them. So because it's so overwhelming, they just constantly spout the knowledge out as a way to just continue. Now, if you happen to be a human that's in the area, you will hear this knowledge in a way of angelic singing. That's what it'll sound like to you. But if you get too close, apparently you will either explode, your head will literally explode because of the overwhelming knowledge, or you will be enlightened and you'll be understanding of it. Now, in the case that you're enlightened, the obelisks will then absorb you and you will become unified to the obelisk. Now, I think from what I understand, the obelisks as well will also unravel parts of them into the universe as a way of connecting to the universe. And these organs or parts of them that they unravel are actually pieces of humans that were enlightened, that were sacrificed and became a part of them. And apparently the origin of them is that ancient giants on Earth basically wanted more knowledge. So they basically ripped open holes in reality, creating these obelisks. And when they came around, they actually were able to give a digestible amount of knowledge to the pharaoh Khufu, who then created the pyramids of Giza. So there you go. It's been constantly speculated if they actually did build them or not, and it seems that they did, but they had the help of ancient reality distorting obelisks. It wasn't actually aliens. I mean, that depends if you consider this thing an alien, but you get what I'm saying. I really hope I'm explaining this in the best way possible to you guys, because I know it's a ton of information being thrown at us and it sounds hard to understand, but I hope you do.
Now, looks like our time here may be almost up. But before you go, It's time for Bonus Oddity.
Ooh, yay! Filbus.
This is Filbus. It is not known where Filbus comes from or why he is here, but there have been a number of people who, after consuming media depicting Filbus, have felt the overwhelming compulsion to practice Filbism. Filbism is a political and somewhat religious ideology which centers around a belief that building/consuming chairs and other wooden furniture is honoring Filbus' great sacrifice. It is not clear what this sacrifice is or what it refers to. Attributes and practices of Filbism include learning to build chairs, learning to properly digest chairs, promoting/discussing chair consumption on obscure internet forums, praising the fictional political candidate known as Filbus, who is said to advocate for making furniture consumption a socially accepted and widespread practice. There are so many wonderful things about Filbism. Consume the body of Filbus and become one with many others today. It's a great decision. Just eat your share to get started. Any mention of Filbism and elaboration on the subject will eventually result in it becoming a sponsorship or advertisement of sorts. We have no idea how to avoid this, sorry. All Filbists will deny the existence of Filbism when directly questioned about it. This video was not in any way sponsored by Filbism.
Thank you.
This is for educational purposes only. Filbism does not even exist. You can sign up for Filbism certification here. Consume the body of Filbus today. Or would you look at the clock? It's just about time for us to part ways.
Hold up. Unsafe indoor viral material detected. Okay, so it seems like the Oddity Compendium is genuinely just trying to teach us about Filbism, but Filbus is literally breaking in trying to advertise his religion. This one seems actually super simple though. But basically, if you ever hear about Filbus, read about Filbus, see Filbus, you'll become a part of Filbism, which is apparently a belief system in which you eat furniture, mostly chairs, wooden chairs. Okay, so you learn how to build chairs, you learn how to eat chairs, you promote and discuss eating chairs on internet forums, and you praise Filbus, who is apparently the originator of Filbism.
A brief cleansing process will now commence. This purely auditory procedure will ensure you do not come away from this with any ailments from beyond contracted during your viewing experience. Please close your eyes and do not open them until told to do so.
Okay.
You may now open your eyes.
Thank God.
You for complying. Thank you for attending Dr. Nowhere's Office of Wonders. We hope that you enjoyed your stay.
Goodbye, we love you. Who's we? And in the description it says, this video and everything in it is for educational purposes only. And I don't care what anybody says. Dr. Nowhere is cooking always with every video, man. There's something about this art style and just the general concept of everything that is so good. Like, it genuinely felt like I was watching some kind of TV show just now about learning about these insane entities or oddities in this case. And then even at the end, the whole thing where he was like, listen, I'm about to cleanse you just to make sure that nothing happens to you. And you have to like close your eyes and experience that audio. It's just really, really cool. I honestly hope we get a lot of these because I think this is just super entertaining to learn about these insane creatures, get to see pictures of them or video of them, and it's just a really cool concept overall. And this does say the Oddity Compendium Insta-1, so I'm guessing we will get multiple of these, which is really sick. But I do think that basically confirms that all of these things are basically maybe not a part of the same reality, but are a part of this same general, I don't know, what's bigger than a reality? You know what I mean? Like, they're all connected somehow. And it does seem like Dr. Nowhere's character is at the top of the tier list for Dr. Nowhere to know about all of these things and all of these different realities and even know names of people that shouldn't even exist anymore. Again, it's obviously weird that like things at the end are said like "we love you" or like there's people laughing during the video. Like, who is this video actually made for? Is there like an audience that Dr. Nowhere shows this to and they think this is hilarious? It's definitely not necessarily made for humans because they refer to humans in the video. Like, he'll be like, oh yeah, and by the way, humans call it this, you know. So it's very weird, and I think something to think about. But Dr. Nowhere, incredible job as always. If you guys could please go and support the Dr. Nowhere channel, the link will be at the top of the description down below. Please be sure to go and support your analog horror content creators. Also, another way to support is the Boiled One plushie is out right now. Now, at the current time of me filming this, there is 5 days left for the Boiled One plushie, so if you guys want to go get it, I'll leave the link in the description down below for that as well. There's also a trailer for it on Dr. Nowhere's channel, which I highly recommend you watch. But yeah, at the time of this video, there's not going to be much time left, so if you want to go get this thing, go get it ASAP. And also gonna throw my own self promo in here, of course. Don't forget to check out GamerSupps. The link will be in the description down below as well. Use code Immortal at checkout for 10% off. Basically, GamerSupps is this awesome flavoring that you could throw into your water and make it taste so much better. They have caffeinated versions and not caffeinated versions, so whatever you like, you could check it out on the website. But alright guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video overall. I absolutely love this. If you did like it, don't forget to drop a like on it. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos like this all the time on my channel, and we're trying to hit 1 million subs before the end of the year. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.